I'm so excited to have you, Elyse. Thank you for being on Social Impact Power Chats.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, you and I have met many moons ago in a totally social impact way. And I'd love if you could just share a little bit about your social impact journey and what brought you into this work.
Yeah, well, I've been in the field now for almost 20 years. And I think it's just always been part of my heart and my upbringing to always be focused on work that gives back in some way, and never knew that I could really make a career out of it. But I learned along the way that social impact, whether corporate social impact, nonprofit impact, just leaving the world better than the way that we found that, is actually a job. And so I have found my way working over 17 years in Washington, D.C. on all different projects that ranged from working in marketing agencies on impact projects to leading Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative, and then really shifting to corporate impact and philanthropy over the last 10 years. And it's been really, really great. I've touched a lot of important issues, worked with a lot of incredible people. And I think the biggest nugget from all of it is it really takes collective and collaborative work to move the needle on issues. And I love working with a lot of different people.
So, perfect segue, collective, collaborative. Um, Tell us about what you're doing today and a bit about the social impact shop that you're sitting in right now.
Yeah. So, dream job, another dream job. Never thought I'd have two dream jobs in my lifetime. But I really sit at the center of Selena Gomez's heart and soul and impact work, all focused on mental health. And that intersection is her brand, Rare Beauty. So, leading the brand's mission and purpose, content, campaigns, events around addressing mental health. Then her foundation that she launched called the Rare Impact Fund, committed to supporting youth mental health organizations around the world. The company delivers 1% of all of our sales to the foundation as an ongoing revenue stream, but we also fundraise to hopefully raise $100 million to support the issue. And then the third pillar is really around Selena and Selena's brand and how she shows up and is positioned on a global scale around the issue and building her legacy across the brand, her foundation, and just her overall personal story and stake in making a difference in mental health.
It's amazing. And I know you and I have talked about over the years what we call levers. There's so many ways that you are pulling for change around the issues of mental health. And as you just described, I think it's just a great example for anybody who's really out there looking like how can a business do more than one thing, put lots of chips on the table. It's a brilliant example. So people should go and look up your work more broadly, which is amazing. But I'd love for you us zero us in on one big thought or one big idea and kind of help people understand what you did to make it work, why it's special, because it really is. It's not a superlative. It's truly impactful impact work, and maybe peel back the onion a little bit so folks can understand why that's true.
Sure. Well, first I'll start by saying it's not necessarily just what I did. There is a team of people that have been part of this effort, which has been really exciting, and there's so much heart and soul in all of it. And I would say, in terms of just thinking about specifically around corporate impact, I think some of the biggest challenges that people face is when they're trying to, I like to say, boil the ocean. Like they're trying to touch so many things. We're sitting in this complicated world, and every day there's another issue, and we think that we have something to add to it, and we do, but you can't make real change by trying to put little droplets across multiple issues. And so for us and for this work at Rare Beauty, it was really, really important to make sure that our mission aligned with our brand. And for us, luckily, our founder wanted to make a difference in the mental health space before we ever sold a product or launched this company. And so um, part of our success is really grounded in having a mission and purpose for your brand from launch so that it's not an afterthought. The second is really how do we come up with an issue that is important to our customers, but also aligns with the product that we're selling or the service that we're selling. And so for us, we're in the beauty industry. historically, that's an industry that has often been really around covering up what makes you unique and who you are. And for us, we're really reframing that narrative and talking about how do we leverage beauty as an industry and as products to really embrace who we are and have positive conversations around mental health and self-acceptance. So for us, our audience, our customer audience is very heavily leaning in the Gen Z population. Mental health is top among the issues that they talk about and care about. And so we're really able to weave together our business and our mission. And I would say the third thing is, and I'm very fortunate for this, you have to have a designated person or team, depending on the size that the impact work plays within a company. And I was hired before our company launched. That's how important this work was to our founder and to the brand overall. And I think those three things are really critical to the success. We're still learning. We still have a lot of roadblocks. We are not perfect in any way. This work is hard. It's complex. There's definitely risk and investment involved. But I think that those three things consistently bubble up to the top when you're thinking about how do you make a successful corporate purpose for your brand.
And I'll just say, watching you and cheering you on from the sidelines, going back to your background, which includes policy, includes, government, includes foundation work, being able to say, okay, what's the best tool that we have to address, the issue at hand, and being able to be flexible and put your chips where they're most effective is also something that I've really seen you do. And you can do that when you know what your due north is, right? When you're not sort of
Yep.
reading the headline of the newspaper and flipping between issues. You can really
Yep.
triple down, which is amazing.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you. I mean, we also are fortunate in that we have powerful marketing like levers that when we're talking about levers to pull and obviously we knew each other I think after my time working for Michelle Obama, but like knowing the power that an authentic celebrity voice can have, both the power, opportunity, and the risk, and like how do you leverage their story as one of your really strong communication channels, but only at the right time. Again, it's a challenge and an opportunity, and it's one that we are faced with, but are lucky to have every day.
Well, I think it's being done so authentically. The work that you're doing couldn't be more important. I was before this call looking at it. There's 42% of people in high school have self-identified as having struggled with mental health. You know the stats better than I do, so it's pressing. It is really the moment to be doing this work. So thank you for all that you all are doing to take a piece of it. We're going to flip now to future looking. Would love to finish with our question on crystal ball. You have seen a lot in your 20 years in this work. I very much believe you are going to be a tour de force for 2
Oh my
decades
gosh,
more and
thank
beyond.
you.
No, it's the truth. And so, looking ahead, what are you seeing? What do you think is trending? And kind of what are you and your team building for and thinking about to future-proof this work and to be cutting edge?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the most important thing is going to be that impact continues to be embedded into a company from the beginning, not an afterthought. I think as we look at future generations really as like the purse strings of the future of business and consumer trends, they want to see value in companies, and they also will be your biggest critics and they will keep you accountable. And so to that, I say, if I'm looking in a crystal ball, it's that this work continues to strengthen and never be on a chopping block. But that has to mean that it's fully integrated, because anytime impact is an afterthought, it's serving a much different role than critical to the business. And for us, it's been built as a part of this company and is critical to the business. And I think that the more we can continue to see companies do that, that'll truly be the future. And then the second piece to that, I will say, is, part of what we do is philanthropic. And I always say that's part of the impact narrative. That is not our impact story. But we also put our money where our mouth is in terms of long-term commitment to an issue. And I think that that really put our stake in the ground from day one. It put our founders' stake in the ground as a long-term commitment. And being able to stay true to that value and that purpose from day one through all the ups and downs that companies experience will also be really important and hopefully something that we continue to see growing.
Amazing. Well, there's so many amazing learnings from you and your team and the brand. I highly recommend that people check out what is going on at Rare Impact and Rare Beauty and everything that you all are posting because there's so much to glean. And I really appreciate you taking the time to power chat. Thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun. Bye.
Bye.